We've all heard the phrase "man up." It's a message men receive from a young age. It tells them to hide their feelings, to be tough, to never show weakness. But what happens when those feelings become too much to bear? When the weight of that unspoken pain becomes unbearable? Statistics paint a stark picture. Men are far less likely than women to seek help for mental health issues. This isn't because men are immune to suffering. It's because they've been taught to suffer in silence. Think about it. We socialize boys to believe that vulnerability is a sign of weakness. We teach them that expressing their emotions is not manly. Is it any wonder then, that so many men struggle to reach out for help when they need it most? They've been conditioned to believe that seeking help is a sign of failure, rather than an act of courage. This silence is deadly. The consequences of untreated mental health issues are far-reaching. Men are more likely to engage in risky behaviors, to self-medicate with drugs and alcohol, and to die by suicide. We must break this cycle. We must create a world where men feel safe to admit they're struggling, to ask for help without shame. The first step is acknowledging the problem. We must shine a light on the silent crisis of men's mental health. We must start talking about it openly and honestly. From a young age, boys are often told to toughen up and hide their emotions. This societal pressure to conform to traditional masculine norms can be incredibly damaging. Men are taught to equate vulnerability with weakness, which prevents them from seeking help when they need it most. Imagine a young boy who falls and scrapes his knee. He starts to cry, but his father tells him to be a man and stop crying. What message does that send? It teaches him that expressing pain is not acceptable, that he needs to suppress his emotions to be considered strong. This pressure to conform doesn't disappear as boys grow older. It follows them into adulthood, influencing their relationships, careers, and overall well-being. Men are expected to be providers, protectors, and stoic figures who never show weakness. This impossible standard can lead to feelings of inadequacy, isolation, and shame. When men are constantly told to suppress their emotions, they lose touch with their inner selves. They may struggle to identify and articulate their feelings, making it even harder to seek help. This can manifest in unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as anger, aggression, substance abuse, or risky behavior. We need to challenge these outdated notions of masculinity. True strength lies in vulnerability, in the willingness to acknowledge and address our emotions. It's time to redefine what it means to be a man, and create a society that values emotional intelligence and vulnerability as strengths. By embracing these qualities, we can foster a healthier, more supportive environment for everyone. Let's be clear, vulnerability is not weakness. It's not about being overly emotional or falling apart. Vulnerability is about having the courage to be authentic, to show up in the world as our true selves, even when it's scary. It's about allowing ourselves to be seen, heard, and known, imperfections and all. For men who have been conditioned to believe that vulnerability is a liability, this can be a radical concept, but it's essential for their well-being. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open ourselves up to connection, compassion, and healing. Think about the people in your life you feel closest to, the ones you trust the most. Chances are they're the ones who allow themselves to be vulnerable with you. They share their struggles, their fears, their hopes and dreams. This vulnerability creates a space for genuine connection and intimacy. It's time to normalize vulnerability in men. We need to create spaces where men feel safe to express their emotions without judgment or shame. This could be through support groups, men's circles, or even just open and honest conversations with friends and family. So how do we create a world where men feel comfortable seeking help? We start by changing the narrative. We need to stop equating mental health struggles with weakness and instead promote them as a normal part of the human experience. Let's make therapy less clinical and more approachable. It shouldn't feel like a last resort. Imagine men's groups focused on shared experiences like fatherhood or career transitions. Think about therapy spaces designed to feel more masculine, less like sterile doctor's offices. We can use technology to our advantage. Telehealth platforms make therapy more accessible than ever. Online support groups offer anonymity for those who aren't ready for face-to-face interaction. Most importantly, we need to listen. Let's encourage the men in our lives to share their stories, to talk about their struggles. Let's believe them when they do. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can offer is a listening ear and a compassionate heart. Remember, seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. It takes courage to confront our inner demons and ask for support. Let's create a world where men feel empowered to do just that.